Welcome back to Sawmill, everybody. My name's Bill. This is Pirate Solutions Forestry, and Danny, the dog, is out walking around. I'm sure you'll see him in the background a little bit. We're getting back onto the spruce order for Katie Silvestri, a young mom who was diagnosed with ALS at 34 years old. They need to do some improvements to their house, and I was going to cut this log into 6/4 material that they asked for. They asked for 6/4 by 6 and a bunch of 6/4 material. And then they also need 10/4 material for stair treads. However, when I measured the end of the log, it looks like I can get some of the 10/4 by 12s out of this. And we need a couple of them because of the shitty length of these logs. And what happened was the tree guy called me and said they were taking apart a spruce, and he said that the customer's going to want them milled. How long should we cut them? I asked him if it was fairly big. He said yes. And I said, well, cut them at 9 feet, because I didn't want him to cut them at 8. Not knowing what the customer was going to want. And he should have checked too, because he's probably going to be the one that does all the carpentry work and mill work on this stuff. Well, suffice to say, they need 10 stair treads, 10/4 thick by 3 feet long, and they're cut at 9 feet. And that doesn't work out so good. And also, the first log that I cut, which was the one that was below this, it was a little bigger, it wasn't quite 9 feet long, which means that I cut 5 boards, which equals about 45 feet, and they only need 42 feet of 10/4 material. But it doesn't break down, because you're going to take 2 treads out of every one, all 5 of them. There's your 10 treads, and they're going to waste almost 3 feet of board on every single one. And they've got a landing that they need 4-foot boards for. They need, I think, 3 4-foot boards for the landing. So we need to get them some more boards, is pretty much it in a nutshell. Now, I'm hoping that their stair treads, maybe they measured them and said 3 feet, but they're only 33 inches. If they're 33 inches, then we're in good shape. They wouldn't even need any more. However, I'm not going to take any chances in this particular case. For them, for all this family's going through, I'm going to make sure they have enough. So we're going to take some out of this. I'm going to show you how. There he is, the miscreant, Danny Prophet. What do you hear, Danny? What do you hear? I've got almost 18 inches in this dimension, or I have 18 inches in this dimension. I went ahead and marked myself out a 12-inch block there, since I only need a few boards. And then the sides we'll just take down to clean up. They'll actually probably come into whatever cleans up. And then we'll cut them some 10/4 planks out of this, probably 3 of them. That'll make sure they have enough for their landing. And what I've already cut will be enough for the stair treads. So that's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for that top red line right now, and then we'll spin it. I was lazy this morning, and I did not take all the bones off this, so it might spin a little bit hard. But we'll get her cleaned up and buck down into stair landing. So we're running the same Stellite band we've been running. I did have an appointment this morning, so I'm getting a pretty late start here. This is probably going to be the only one that I mill today. I've got some errands to do. I had to go down to the police station and get printed and picture for my renewal for my LTC. So we just got back. I just ate lunch, and we're going to try to knock this one out. I am keeping the slab cuts off this spruce for my retaining wall that's going in right behind the camera over here. So everything's going to use. So I'm up at 20 right now. I'm just going to take it right there and see if this cleans up for the top cut. And I cut nice and flat. Man, this is going to be close. I'm going to take a 1-inch flitch off this right now, or I'm going to come down 1 inch to 19 and take a flitch. It's a little fatter on the bottom. The bottom sweeps up a little bit. So by the time I get to my cut on the bottom, I'm going to be about that far into the wood. So I think I can afford to take an inch off this. And that will make a big, big difference. Log is very dirty. This band is still just cutting great. It's just amazing. These bands are amazing. So I'm going to save this flitch. Oh, and if anybody was wondering, the cicadas are back. If you saw my short video earlier. So we're going to flip it on its side and square it up. All right, so my goal now is to clean up the side until I get a clean line on this top right here. So after I take my slabbing cut off, I'll be taking 6/4 cuts until I get a nice clean edge on this. It doesn't even really need to be clean, but it's just going to help me plan out, I think. So this is at 17. Let's take it there. Wow, there's a big pitch pocket into here. We're really gonna have to put the water to it. So we're gonna come down 6/4, so 15 3/8. So this is gonna get edged off later, so I'm just gonna throw it down on the ground. It's got a pretty good bump in it too. But he is gonna be milling these down. So now we can go ahead and flip this thing and set our width at 12. All right, let's take top off it. It's a bony cut, but it's all there is. Let's dig it in. So we're looking good. We're going to get our 3 boards out of it, which is good. Since we got no more to go, we're just going to spin it again. So what I have to do is I've got to, since I don't have a scale and I don't have my DRO on, I've got to scale off the bottom of this log and come up the right amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down to 2.5, and then the next one would be 5 1/8. So we can go to 5 1/8. That's 2 of them. The next one is going to be 7 1/8. 5/8 is a half. 7 3/4. I'm going to make a line there. And I'm going to come up inch is 8 3/4, and a half is 9 1/4, and then 9 3/8. And I'm going to make my top cut right there. Now we're going to drop down 2.5 each time. So I'm at 9, right back on the log. That's nice. Got nice and flat. I'm going to close down my throat. Sure that's going to clear. I have no wane on the top. Oh, I've got one flitch on here. However, I've got a little wane on the bottom. So that's going to leave me a 6/4 board on the bottom. And I'm going to take my 3 out of it this way first. So we're at 9 3/8. We're going to come down to 7 3/8 is 2. A half inch is 6 7/8. So that's 10/4. And then 1/8 is 6 3/4. And then we're going to measure. That should be right. Yeah, 2.5 inches exactly. And what we're doing in this case, as opposed to normally we scale off the bottom. This one we're scaling off the top. And it should leave us a 6/4 board. So my next drop, just before I start messing with stuff here, is going to be to 4 3/4, 4 1/4, 4 1/8. 4 1/8 should give me a 10/4 board. If we do our job right, we're going to end up with a 6/4 board on the bottom. 4 1/8. Double check it. That looks right, I'm sure it is. This should be 5 inches. Or 5 and an eighth, I think. 5 and 1/8. Yep, perfect. So our next drop is going to be to 2 and an eighth, 1 and 5/8, 1.5, which is exactly right. Leaves us a 6-quarter board. Cut it at 1.5 and we all done. Make sure my stops are all the way down. This is why you look. This one isn't. This stop is not all the way down, and I would have hit it. So we're cutting this one right at 1.5 inches. As long as we clear our clamp, we're good. Looks good. Yeah. Sweet. Now I can sleep at night comfortably knowing that I gave them enough wood. Now they have enough for their landing, plus a couple of treads in case something cracks or whatever. But I'll give you a look at the wood. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it away. I'm going to raise it up so I can grab the whole thing as a bunk to throw it on their pile. Jesse, Keys, if you're watching, come get this shit. And I'll give you a look at the spruce. Nice white spruce with rock hard knots. It's Stella Cut Band still doing a great job. It's a good use of this lumber for what they want. I think they'll all pretty much look similar. So let's do an outro. So not very exciting, not a whole lot of cuts in that, actual cuts, just because we're cutting stock that's so big and because that cant would barely fit in that log. But we accomplished what we were trying to accomplish. Now I know that I've got the 5 that'll cover the treads and I've got enough wood there to cover the landing, and the rest of the small logs can go to 6/4 stock, which from here looks like about all they're gonna cover. And then we have one huge log we've got a slab. We need to get a big slab out of the middle of it. You know, I always appreciate the watch, guys. I'm always looking for input. So if you like what we're doing, let us know. I did get some kind comments the other day. A lot of people like hearing, as I'm working my way through the log, the dimensions and all that stuff. They say it really helps them with what they're trying to do. If you need anything from Norwood, please go down in the description of this video and use my affiliate link. You can copy and paste it to your browser and it takes you right to Norwood's site. And then anything that you do with Norwood, at least it lets them know that you watch my videos, which helps me out with them, not monetarily, but with their support. Please like, share, and subscribe the videos. The channel, when I started editing, and I like the product that I put out, just to let you know. I know I'm kind of a neophyte at it. You know, I kind of am self-taught. I try to make it look good. When I watch them back, I like it. But I thought the channel was going to grow a little faster. So the more that you guys interact with the videos by commenting, hitting the thumbs up button, sharing videos, whatever, The more it hits the algorithm, the more it helps me out. So definitely, if you like what I'm doing, try to help me out. If you don't like what I'm doing, then don't try to help me out. That's your choice. That's one great thing about living in this beautiful country, is that we all get choice that has been given to us by birthright or by citizenship. It's a great thing to have choice. I don't begrudge you for your choice, but I certainly will fight to protect your right to that choice. So with that said, we hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to get this thing edited and probably put out tomorrow morning. And for Danny, he's got sap all over his face because he's been lying up on these boards. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it off him. It's all hard. It's on his ear. It's under his eye on that side. If you zoom in, you can see it. We're humbled by all of you. We really appreciate you guys watching us, and it's Pirate Solutions out.